Welcome back guys to this channel, and today I think we're gonna just make a quick video about what kind of gear that goes in my backpack. So basically I'm just gonna show you what's in my backpack on a typical day when I go out shooting and what type of gear I use. This is only in my camera bag, so I'm not gonna do a full explanation of every piece of equipment I own and use from time to time, because that is a lot of equipment. So I think I'm just gonna make this video about what's in my camera bag. To start off, I'm shooting this on a Canon 600D. I borrowed it to make this video, so thanks sister, I appreciate that. So to start off with the camera I'm using, it's the 60 Mark II. I actually switched from the 7D, which is an APS-C sensor, to this full frame. So accordingly, a bunch of people been hating on this camera and said it sucks, it doesn't have 4K and yada yada yada. I actually think this is a great camera to start off with. If you're into the full frame game and you want a full frame camera, why not choose this and pick it up? If you don't like it, just return it. I mean, it's quite simple. But for my type of use, I'm using this in the studio. I'm using this to make movies with. I think it's a great camera. I actually do. It doesn't have 4K. I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me. I'm not in the market for 4K, so fine by me. And with that, I'm using the battery grip with it, so it's easily to hold vertical. If you want to shoot vertical, it really helps out a lot, and you extend the battery life of it too. And with that, the lens I'm using most must be this, the Canon 24-70, the 2.8 version. They make this as a f4 version, but I wanted the 2.8. I've been using this day in, day out, and I think it's a fantastic lens. It really produces, it's a magical lens. It really does deliver. Canon did announce a Mark II version. I was considering to update it, but I maybe have to triple this price for this lens to get the Mark II version. And when I compared the footage side by side, it wasn't that much difference. Maybe a little bit of sharpness in the corner and a sharpness over there, but overall it wasn't much different between them. The Mark II version is lighter, I give them that, but I'm not considering the weight with this lens to be a problem, so it's nothing that's bothering me. Another lens I'm just about to start using is this. It's a 24mm, it's a prime lens, it's the 1.4 version. I was using the Sigma R 24mm with a 1.4, but that lens isn't weather sealed, that's why I switched to this one. Now this has weather sealing. I do not really go out in total rain when I'm shooting, but it is a good option to have it weather sealed. And this is the Mark II version, so you must be an idiot not to buy this when it was on sale, because this is a beautiful lens. It does produce great quality image, and this is a must buy if you're gonna have it. And this is a must buy if you want a good prime lens in your bag. And for wider shots, I got the zoom lens, the 16-35. It's a 2.8 version. This is a Mark III. I used to have this, but the Mark II version, and unfortunately it had an accident, so I have to send it into Canon for repairing. And they actually sent this one back to me, so they switched it out and gave me a Mark III version. So thanks Canon for that, I really appreciate it. This I'm probably using for landscapes, maybe star photography. When I'm needing wide shots, and this is the one I'm gonna use. It's a 16mm to get a proper wide image when you're using it. So I'm gonna keep this bad boy. For macro shots, what else but the 100mm image stabilized Canon L series. This is a lens with incredible sharpness. It's on point, and I particularly love this one. You can use this in the studio, use it for portraits, use it for macro. It got a lot of benefits only in this lens. You can use it for quite different options. You can use it for a variety of stuff. So if you get a good deal on this 100mm image stabilized macro lens, be sure to pick it up. And if you're gonna get close up to your subject, this is the lens I'm using. It's a 70-200mm 2.8 also with the L series glass. It's a beast of a lens. I absolutely love this lens because the sharpness with this lens is incredible. Absolutely stunning, incredible quality. This comes with an image stabilized version, but I am no need of buying that, so I'm gonna stick to this one because this one is really producing and it's giving me exactly what I want. It's overall a great lens. If you want a proper zoom lens, pick this bad boy up. Now something I ordered but hasn't come yet is the 85mm aperture 1.2, the Canon EOS series. I would really want to get my hands on it, but unfortunately it hasn't been delivered yet, so I have to wait a couple of days for it to arrive. So I have been ordering the 35mm 1.4 Canon EOS lens, which also hasn't arrived in the mail, so I'm waiting for that as well. So there's two lenses. It was supposed to come in the mail this week, but it hasn't, so it's kind of pissed me off. And with these lenses I'm also using filters, so I got everything from ND filters to polarizing filters and so on. I'm not gonna pick this out of the box because well, it's filters, it's polarizing filters, ND filters. Something I'm not using that often but still goes in the bag is the aperture LED panel. Now this is the aperture, the ALH198. It doesn't always come in my bag, but for some different jobs I need it. It's a very portable LED panel. It goes with the Sony batteries to just mount it on the back. Now these are very bright lights, as you can see. It's a small package, so this is going in my bag also. And something that goes on the camera bag instead of inside is the Joby GorillaPod 5. The Joby 5K GorillaPod is a very sturdy, heavy-duty GorillaPod. You can bend these legs for. It's a very heavy-duty. Oh my fucking god! Shut up! Bend these legs and mount this on practically anything, and it stays there. So if you want a good GorillaPod, make sure to pick this up. Now something that does tag along from time to time is the small GoPro 3. I got this from a friend. It's a GoPro Hero 3 black version. It does crappy 4K. I usually just use this to shoot in 1080p, which is just fine for me. As I said earlier, I'm not in the market for 4K. 4K is a good thing to have, but it's not a must-have, so that is just fine by me. I can live with that, and this is gonna serve me well for a long time. And actually, for something that goes mostly of the time in my jacket and nothing in my bag, is the Canon G7X Mark II, a small size pocket camera that actually just slides into my pocket. I can bring this everywhere. If I don't want to carry the 60 Mark II, I can just take this with me. And now this is a good camera. It does produce a great quality image. It's got a lot of benefits using this. You got a flippy screen, and for the autofocus that Canon uses, this is a great option if you're into vlogging. And at last, but certainly not the worst, is the Mavic Pro. Now I did make a video about this earlier and why I choose this from the Phantom 3 Pro. If you haven't checked it out, so check it out. This is a small size drone that delivers beautiful pictures and beautiful 4K video, and this does really fit good in my camera bag. So this comes along whenever I actually go out shooting. So you can almost fit this in the inside of your jacket. And with the Mavic Pro, I'm using the Polar Pro filters to stop down the exposure. I got the ND 4816, and for the bag that I'm actually using is the Low Pro Tacted 450. Now this is a good option of a camera bag because inside you got a lot of space and a lot of option to modify this case inside. I just did a basic layout how I like it. I fit the camera, the lenses, the drone and everything. So this is the bag I'm using as of right now. The Low Pro Tactic 450 is a great bag. I got it for a good price, so if you haven't tried this bag out, make sure to get one. Now that is basically all the gear that I'm using in my camera bag. I got the Canon, I got the lenses, I got the Mavic, and all the bunch of stuff I actually showed you. So as I said before, I'm not gonna do a whole review of what all the gear that I'm using because it's gonna take a long time. I got a bunch of stuff. I got a closet full of gear. I got a studio with the flashes over there, so I'm not gonna get into it. Maybe I'll make a video about that later, but for now I'm just gonna stick to my camera bag.